Okay, that's all working now. Hey, simple. Yeah, I had to double back because when I loaded in, I had the weirdest bug where Gerlinda was still alive and the seed pod was still in my inventory, unused. And I was like, did I just have a weird bug where all my progress got undone? It looks like I'm fine, but I would rather redo it quick than sit here and be like, oh no, I'll just use the exploit of free revival of Gerlinda to keep upgrading. Yeah, I wish this game just had a save option. I'm sure it can be exploited. I can almost guarantee it can be. But at this point, I would rather have it than kind of be left to my own devices and have things go wrong. What? Great, now I have to try to remember which vestige I have to go to. This one. Yeah, good point. I Now I'm trying to think. Do any of them actually have a manual save? No, I just think they save more frequently. Yeah, I think this build is as good as we're gonna get.
You don't have the metal to carry that.
Okay, cool.
Not yet.
Man, I love that 8 seconds of invincibility. Okay, so do we have any new key items? Nope, just Melchior Seed Pod. Yeah, that's. I'm not gonna complain because having a nice overpowered spell at the end of the game is fun and kind of fair in my eyes. It's just so goofy that I can have multiple instances up at once. Oh, I have to interact. I was like, I thought the door was open. I want to make sure I should be able. Okay, yeah, so you have to use the Withered Rune, otherwise you get locked out of this ending. And now I think this locks me in 100% in the Umbral ending. Or converting this to Withered did that. Oh, for Remnant, the draining. I don't think it was you have to stand there, because I know which one you're talking about. It's the, I think it's one of the launchers in the like fantasy elf place. You had to have the certain dungeon, the sewer. You had to break the stuff to let it drain, and you had to, yeah, leave it for like 12 hours. You could go elsewhere and play, but it was like 12 real game hours. I remember it because I did it, and it was the dumbest thing ever. I think the worst one, though, is probably... Oh, there's a shotgun you can get. It's like the cube shotgun. I saw what you had to do, and I immediately was like, nah, I'm not going to do this. I don't care enough. Having stuff that's kind of built for the people who are doing like data mining is cool, but it's so miserable to actually have to do it. So that and Savior are the two weapons I don't have, because Savior you have to beat the game on like max difficulty survival or hardcore mode, and I was just like, I'm not doing hardcore. With how cheap some of the bosses are, I was just like, no. Yeah. See, I don't even think it's like people with like turbo autism. I think what it is it's just people who love data mining. I should have saw that coming. It's like I get the appeal of data mining. I just kind of hate it. It takes all the fun out of games. It's like I like to know what's coming, like in Helldivers, when people data mine what's in the next war bond. I always find that interesting because you get to kind of see what priorities the devs have, but it's not like some hidden mechanic. What good is that supposed to do me? I think where you find like the actual players with, I wouldn't even say autism. I would just say advanced levels of obsession are like, I would argue probably certain RTS games and then looters like Diablo and Path of Exile. Because you get these guys who will min-max builds to the decimal point. And the whole time when that happens, I'm just sitting here like, really? Can't I just do this same build and be like 5 points off and be fine? And there are people who are like, no, it's inefficient. I'm like, come on, man. Don't make this weird. Oh, that's... well hidden. Yeah, they certainly did know the crowd built around it. And I can't fault them for it. I kind of wish more studios did that. Instead of the constant chasing of the modern audience, which has yet to show up. Everybody loves to be like, oh, we reimagine this for the modern audience, and the game does bad. And it's like, oh, where the hell's this audience, my guy? Because you just burned, $300 million on an audience we still don't know exists. I've never heard that. I've always just heard people say players min-max the fun out of games. But yeah, who players will kill fun with efficiency. What I think is even worse is when devs start building around that. When they start realizing like, oh, this is our core player base now. And so they build these encounters or situations just for the min-maxers. And I'm like, come on, man. These guys, yes, they're part of your community. But they're not your entire community. Oh. Okay, you're safe. I was looking at him like, I can't tell if you're normal wiggly or too wiggly. Okay. Just burnt room. Yeah. And I wholeheartedly agree with that you have to gatekeep to a certain degree. And we always see people like, oh, gatekeeping's bad. And I'm like, no, there's levels. When people are just like, hey, don't change my game into something it isn't, that's fine. When you get the people who are like, oh, you're a Mario fan, what's his pant size? Then it's like, that's weird and irrelevant. But even that is kind of a straw man, because how many people are actually like that? I feel like these days 40K is kind of the one that's really in that position where you have people making demands that are just not reasonable or really stupid. Like with the new Custodes set, where they had the female models and they're just not selling. And Games Workshop's like, oh, what do you mean they're not selling? It's like, because people didn't want them. People wanted Sisters of Silence to get support. Hang on a second, I think I might be stupid. Okay, so let's just slap this bad boy down. Go through here. Nothing there. This. Then there's nothing here. There's gotta be something in here. I'm missing something. Because then we just cross over. That just has the quintessence. Which is cool, I needed that. But that's it, because you can't jump that. And that just leads back down to where we were. There's supposed to be a boss fight here. I'm gonna rest and come back out of Umbra. Because I'm clearly missing something. Oh, sweet, upgrade. The fact other people come to me for advice still staggers me. It has staggered me my whole life. Okay, you're dead. And... oh, I think... No, can't break it. That would have been my guess. Oh. Oh, I'm really dumb. I just processed this as rubble. And yeah, I hate when every game kind of becomes COD. I actually saw with... We're just gonna put another one here. The new Call of Duty with the trailer they just released. A bunch of extra news came out, and apparently they're making hipfire no longer bloom. So wherever your hipfire is where bullets go. And I was like, so Tarkov, we're doing Tarkov mechanics. which makes sense because they're bringing back DMZ. But I'm just like, so we're losing game identity again. We're just trading it for another game's identity. And yeah, it's how guns work, which is nice. Because it was annoying for the longest time to be like, yeah, you just keep firing and magically everything spreads further out. It does make me wonder how much of the game is going to become just like hip fire builds. I get the feeling that's going to be a decision they walk back. If not during the year, at least in the next game. Because people are just going to have absolute, like, crackhead, high-speed, hip-fire builds. Which, if they work, I would do it. I'm not going to sit here and lie and be like, no, I'm better than that. No, if it works. I don't know, I miss old COD, but I also understand old COD had its problems. I think people glaze it a little too much. And like a big thing I've always had is their balancing in COD has been god awful. I said it before, games like Insurgency and MAG did balance correctly by having point values. And no one else seems to be willing to do that. I think Battlefield 6 does it? But I also haven't played 6 because I was like, I saw what you did with 2042, and I don't want that. Oh, you're gonna be a static one, aren't you? Yeah, I get meta builds to a degree, mostly because half the time in games now, the off meta builds are just terrible. Where you'd almost swear the developers built it a certain way and are just like, yeah, that's the way to play it. And I do think actually adding point values to weapons and gear would really diversify builds. Maybe people actually have to think and weigh options. Nope. Thought we had a way around.
Hey, what's that? Hello.
The fact that was a memory of him getting yoinked by that same monster that I just got yoinked by is disappointing. Also, that's all of Drurston's stuff. So I guess he died here. I'm kind of amazed that a dude who is just stumbling by on random luck survived this far. But also he kept running into us, so makes sense. Oh yeah, because there's this lantern. Yep. I do like how even if it was through dumb luck, there are mortal men out here surviving this. It always sucks in games where it's like, oh, only the chosen anointed super people get to survive. Everybody else is trapped in towns or is already dead. Like, nah, give me options here. Let some people survive and make it a little more believable. I love a setting that lets normal people actually exist, even if they die horribly sometimes. It's probably my biggest complaint with Berserk when they, oh god, when they had the like merge and had all the fantasy creatures enter the world and everybody just got forced into cities. I was like, this kind of sucks. It's good from the standpoint of humans become the bottom of the food chain again. Oh, okay, yeah, I know where I am. But also, I just like having a different way, having people evolve to be like, oh, this is the new world we live in. We have to adapt. Okay. Don't know what my cloud was doing, but I'll give it a pass. It can be bad in certain circumstances. We have discovered the balancing factor. Use in very weird environments. Yeah, the Attack on Titan mindset. Ah! Ow. I thought I could just run off. Will heal, so if I fall off again, I don't die. Man, I just remembered the ending for Attack on Titan. God, that was so bad. I'm I'm not even shocked when stuff like that happens though, with a bad ending. Oh, that's like it reminds me. I saw the parent company for FromSoft, Katakawa. They had done I think it was a investor meeting or shareholder meeting or something, and they were talking about how isekai, the whole genre, has really kneecapped anime, and I was like, yeah, it's because that's all we see now. It's the same story of I got hit by a bus and reincarnated as a Ford F-150 in a fantasy world. You can only do that so many times before the story is just beat to death. I don't expect everything to be, Mobile Suit Gundam level writing, but I expect something different once in a while. I have not seen what they did to that, and I'm not surprised. I mean, look at, what was it, the last season of One Punch Man? Where the animation just took a nosedive?
Can't help but envy his ability to sleep so soundly.
It soothes him having you near, and I know how exhausted you
I remember seeing some animation studios were having potential employees actually draw in front of them because so many people were applying and just using AI for their portfolio. So hearing any show getting just butchered animation, it's like, yeah, that sadly is no surprise to me. That's why I always feel old when I'm like, yeah, I miss like 80s, 90s, and 2000s anime. The style was very much there. It was really good, and there was always something new to watch. And now it's like, I feel like I've seen the same show 15 times with just a new title. The character designs look the same, the environments look the same. I'm just like, yeah, sure, man, new show, I guess. Ooh. I don't like that jump. Oh, that's why I was like, also, why am I here? Oh, that's probably why I shouldn't like it. I took it at the furthest possible distance instead of just going back across. Ah, we'll go this way. I get the feeling this will be a dead end. Yep, I saw that coming. Oh, they don't all take it. Oh, it's here. Cool. I've heard that too. That it's what I heard is not even Kadokawa. What it is a Hong Kong-based investment company that's been trying to gather a bunch of investors together to leverage pushing Miyazaki and a lot of them out. Which is, if true, absolutely insane. I can't imagine looking to the guy who has made some of the most successful games in your company's history and being like, yeah, I don't want him anymore. The only issue I could see is investors complaining like, oh, he takes too long to make games. It's like, yeah, he does take a little bit of time. And the games are good. If I had a guy like Miyazaki, and I was like, I know he's going to take a bit, but every game he makes is a banger, I'd just be like, dude, just take your time. His work speaks for itself. Oh, it's like the, tentacles. I was gonna say he's like the abbess ladies with the pimp cup, but evil. Yeah, people who know nothing about games or the process and just know money. And even then, I don't think they know money all too well. Because these are the kind of situations where I'd be like, I've said it before, I would just let the people who make money, I'd let them just keep making money. I can't imagine investing in a business and then turning around and going, nah, I don't want them to do what I paid them to do. I want them to do something different. It's like, what's the thing you want them to do now? Lose money? Make mobile games? Which I genuinely bet. Like, that's what I'd heard is they wanted them to make mobile games, which I could see. But I think the mobile market, I would argue, is tapped out. But that's because all we're getting is gacha slop. You know, you can only make so many gotcha games before it's like, okay, yeah, we've seen this before because we've seen it in, you know, Zenless Zone Zero, Genshin, Wuwa, um, Arknight's Enfield, and all those other ones that all look the same and have the exact same things going on for them. That new one that people are like, oh, it's like GTA, and it isn't. You just drive around in a city. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I saw one of them is doing a Cyberpunk Edge Runners crossover, and I know for a fact that's going to make stupid amounts of money. Paladin's Pendant. Are you just a random lore item? I'm gonna guess yes. Also, what it says I do. It's okay. Oh, it's an actual, like, pendant. Strength and endurance. I think it's a little too late for that. That should have probably been an earlier game item. Yeah. That's what's really kind of turned me away from mobile games, because I used to play, like, there was a Star Wars one, Galaxy of Heroes. I played Marvel Strike Force. Well, a long time ago, there was a Naruto one I played. And over time, I just started to realize, like, it's always squeezing you for money, or attempting to. I was always free to play. I wasn't going to throw money at these things because I knew pretty early on that whatever I pay for is going to become, like, it'll be meta for a couple weeks, and then it's not going to be meta anymore. I remember in Star Wars 1, there was a guy back when they released Jango Fett. A guy was on the forums complaining because he's like, I spent like $400 getting max stars and maxing out his gear rank, and he's terrible. And I just sat there reading it, and I'm like, you spent $400 on this? I will never understand whales. I will sit down when I buy something and run a cost-benefit analysis as though it is my last, like, $10 to my name, just to make sure whatever it is worth it. I can't fathom throwing good money after bad into a mobile game. Oh, of course, it's the other side. Is any of this scalable? I'm gonna venture no. Yeah, games that essentially let you not rely entirely on just buying pulls, that's the way to go, but most companies don't do that because they know they can get away with just squeezing people dry. That's what made me slow down on even buying like trading cards. Because I used to be big into like Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, that was my big one. I used to collect Pokemon cards, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Was one I bought a lot of. And at a certain point, I was like, I'm just like going against guys who run tournament decks, and this is miserable. The only one that I still buy now is like the Gundam trading card game, because that game actually seems balanced and the rarities. I'm going to talk about this because I love it. I was looking at how their rarity system works, and it is the most generous rarity system I've ever seen. Because like I run a Xeon and Neo Xeon deck, and I wanted God, what is it? It's not Gelgoog. It's oh my God, I'm drawing a blank, and that's bothering me because it's a really cool mobile suit. Whatever. I'll remember it eventually. But in the pack that it's in, there's the like LR legendary rare, then there's LR plus and LR plus plus, which are just alternate card arts. So it's like, hey, you can get a fancy looking version of this, but you don't have to feel pressed to spend $35 on this card when you can get a normal looking version that does the exact same thing. And I really like that because I'm tired of games being like, oh, you want to build this one archetype? Well, guess what, loser? That's a $35 card, and you're going to need 3 of them. Pony up, and it's like, this sucks, man. Yeah, I recently got back into assembling Gunpla. I have a Char Zazaku 2 sitting next to my computer. I was at a card store that used to be in a different place, but it moved. And it was the first time going into the new location, and they had a perfect grade set for like $300, and I was like, that's a lot of money. I'll stick to like master grade. There's a lot of Ravagers around here.
Let us hurry, Your Majesty. I can take you beyond the castle walls, but then I'm afraid I must return. Too long, and my absence will be noted.
You've already done more for Edivar and I than I can ever hope to repay, Fitzroy. Thank you.
You and the prince are not away yet. I could not stand idleness.
No, I need the royal key. Okay. was gonna say, I don't trust this to be just the dog. It's never that simple. Okay, what do you do? Fully charged ranged attacks deal additional damage. I don't do... I think that's probably for bows? Which probably is really good. Yep, sitting on a model you never build. That is the struggle of like every model builder and miniature game player. It's just having the pile of shame. I know a friend of mine wants to get into Star Wars Legion. I'm like, yeah, I'd get into it. And then I was just thinking, God, I'm gonna end up with a bunch of miniatures that I have to find time to make. That's where if I was smart and I had this set up, I would just be like, oh, I'm gonna stream, you know, building a gunpla or something else. Please stop coming towards me. My lightning needs to catch you. Yeah, I have to think. No, you know what? This is driving me insane. I'm gonna take a. Nope. I don't have a second to look at what model was the one I wanted to get. Because apparently there is a caster somewhere. You're ruining my moment, random caster shooting stuff from the void. Oh, there. I want to know if that's meant to be a damaging attack, or is that just him exploding and taking the crystals with him for really cool theatric effect. I'm gonna do it again because I don't know what it did. Is that rotating, like, the thing? Yes, it is! I feel like I'm just back in Anor Londo. There, because that buys me a moment. I'm looking up what it was, because I know exactly what it is. My memory, my ability to recall things on the fly just sucks. Oh, I see it in the picture. Why does this not list it? Because I know what it is. I would recognize it the second I saw it. Or is it used by Full Frontal? It might have been used by Full Frontal, I can't remember. Yeah, I'd have to get a camera to set up. It'd be fun though. I'd love to justify buying more models. Then I can just tell myself, it's for stream. It's justified. It's okay. As I spend way too much money. My problem too is, like, I'm a big sucker for, like, Zaku's. Zaku's and, like, the goof models. So I've looked at, like, they had Makuve's, I think Lamba Rawl and someone else, all their variants, which are just like ceremonial types. I'm like, I kind of need all these, even though they're the same model, just different paint jobs. I'm really excited for Gundam Assemble. That comes out October. Because that'll be cool, but I really hope they do scale right. Because if they have like Psycho Gundam, I'd be like, hell yeah, Psycho Gundam. But if it's the same size as everybody else, I'm gonna be like, why? This is supposed to be like twice the height. My only like genuine big issue is it looks like they're trying to make it more of like a, hey, you can use all the big named mobile suits that you want. And it's like, yeah, I don't really want to see like Death Sight, Crossbones, and every other Gundam, Barbatos and all that on one team. I like having just the generics, like have a bunch of GMs or a bunch of Zaku's, and then give me my hero kind of leading it. Oh wow, that guy is dead and stays dead. Interesting. I was not expecting them to just have... I mean, I kind of was, but also not expecting an enemy to just be a one-off. More hands. I have a hunger that only human hands can satisfy. Oh, I should probably just zap him too. Yeah, like Battle Operation. Man, I have a problem of I keep re-downloading Battle Operation 2 and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play this again, it'll be fun. And then I remember why I stopped playing in the first place. And it's always the same issue of the game has really bad balance issues. I remember playing in like 200 point fights and getting like I was running a Zaku because Zaku's were like 200, and then there'd be some dude I don't even know what mobile suit he had, but it had a trident and he'd just poke me in the leg. I'd stagger. By the time the animation would play and finish, he would have another attack available, so he would just attack and stagger me again until I died. I was like, dude, how the hell do you make this and not be like, oh, we screwed up. This is imbalanced. You don't have a counterattack because your animation locked. Yep, exactly. It's all, hey, remember this Gundam? Well, it's got to be strong to sell you on more pulls for it. I feel like a Gundam game made with balance in mind would be really good. It would never happen, but I'd love to see Crossfire come back. Even though that game was just brutal, it was still fun. And I feel like now, with a good team on it, I think you can make a good game. Yeah, and that's the thing, is they always do, like, arcade stuff. And it's such a shame because I know they can do a better game. They just have to break free from the arcade style for 2 minutes. Or remember Gundam Evolution? I thought I could fight through it. That's on me. Yeah, like, Gundam Evolution was bad. I remember playing it here on PlayStation. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll play. This is a new Gundam game. Fired it up. Was in, like, the intro runs where it's like, oh, you're supposed to be new players. Absolutely got stomped because they couldn't find enough players, so the game would just force me into normal matches. As I just gave up. I was like, nope. And then, not too long after, they announced the game was being shut down. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was just an Overwatch clone. Can't really be sitting here expecting a lot out of that. I probably should have saw it coming though, because I remember when it first came out, and I was sitting there going, I was talking with a friend of mine, I said, this is just an Overwatch clone, why is this a thing? And yeah, kind of answered my own question on that one. Like, why is this a thing? It's not gonna last long, and it didn't. Yeah, live service. The sad part is there is a place for them. I just think most developers don't want to actually do what they need to for them. Because, I mean, look at, like, Destiny. Destiny is a prime example of they want to make... They want players to give the MMO level of dedication to the game, but they themselves don't want to put the MMO level of effort. And then they get confused as to why they don't get the sales. And it's like, yeah, because you are asking way more than what you're giving. This is pretty basic business here. Hello? Hitbox? You wanna... You know what, that's fine. Because I'm right here. Never mind, you put me right back up here. No escape. Oh, and then you have... Okay, yeah, just give me the crossover spot. In Umbra, sure. Not even gonna pretend that I understand that. Oh, I finally remembered the mobile suit I was trying to think of. It's the Xeon. The one with the rocket hands that are on a cable and has like the giant dish for a lower half. Could not remember the name for the life of me. I could picture the thing. Oh, we got the royal key? Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's the best part about Battle Operation is just it's a good collection of all of them, so you can look at them and be like, oh, that one. Instead of having to go to the wiki and go through and try to remember things. Be like, was this in, like, Unicorn? Was this in 8th MS team? What am I trying to remember here? I think they made one long time ago, but I really want a big Zam model. Just a big oval on legs. I love how goofy that thing is. All these other mobile suits, like, oh yeah, this makes sense for in terms of utility and movement and all this. And then it's just like, yeah, our super weapon, egg. Oh, it's more damage. Yeah, now we're at that 2 point per upgrade point. Is it, oh god, it starts the Q. Cubely, I think? Quebley? Got the big shoulder pads on it. I can never pronounce the name right because I'm dumb. Yeah, I like that one too. That one's used by Haman. I remember using that back in Dynasty Warriors Gundam. God, that's another game I wish we'd get a new one of. My favorite mobile suit, this is so dumb. My favorite one to use was it's not a high Zac. It's a Zaku variant where they have a big head and it's got a rotating radar dish on it, like an AWACS. The head looks like a xenomorph queen, but you could use the radar to actually ping people, and I would just hang around pinging enemies constantly. It was the one support build where I was like, hey, I feel like I'm actually a support. This is great. Now that we rotated this, I don't remember if I went in there. I do remember Battle Operation had, they introduced like 2 PvE modes. And one was like fighting a handful of pirates in space, which was cool, but it was only one thing and it was more or less a time attack mode. Just to get the best score on it. And the other was actually fighting Psycho Gundam, which was really cool. Except I could not for the life of me beat Psycho Gundam, even though the game gives you 2 AI assistants. I had to get, God, what was it? It was something with the remote lasers, and I just spammed that, and I'd win. Oh, the problem was because you could hit the legs, drop Psycho, but then you had to melee it in the head, and a bunch of my mobile suits, their melee attacks would not strike the head correctly because the developers didn't bother to, I guess, make that work right. Yeah, you have to get other players, and that was the cool part though, is it was actually a bit of a challenge, which I appreciate. Oh, that's gonna break. Yep. And stuff like that, though, that's always been my argument when it comes to PvE in games, is you can do it, you just have to make it a challenge. It's kind of like the stuff with Marathon, where everybody's complaining about PvE being added, and I'm like, it can be fine if you make properly challenging enemies. You just have to know what you're doing. I think the saddest part, though, when it comes to Battle Operation 2 is when it first came out, it was amazing. Because it felt fairly balanced. I didn't go through matches just being miserable. Most people were running just like GMs and Zakus. It's always the push for gacha mechanics. The pulls always kill the game. I'll search the rest of this place before I try parkouring across ghost hands. Huh. That's distressing. Really? 5 fire ward. That has to be the most disappointing thing. Like, you put it on this big crystal, you put it way at the end, and then it's like, yeah, here's some fire resist stuff. Have fun. Another one? I mean, sure, man. We can keep playing this game. Yeah, like, it's just like how it works in, like, War Thunder. You know, you can separate certain units that are very powerful and retain balance. It's too tantalizing for developers. Be like, nah, let's put this in a lower tier so the people who buy it can stomp on low ranks. And it's like, you don't have to. You can make a game that's fun and balanced and still have some degree of monetization. I'm gonna have to jump for it. I can't just not. But I will do that. Because the odds of me going splat are very, very good. I will say that. I mean, a Duralium chunk isn't bad. Not useful for me, but I see the vision. I feel like 52 vitality, we're passing the Vig check. If I need more than 1,000 HP, I'm kind of screwed anyways. Now, I thought there was this path. Oh. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Japanese devs and gacha name a more iconic duo. And it's the curse of they're making stuff for the Japanese and East Asian market, and it works there. It just happens to come over here as well. So I can't 100% fault them and be like, oh, these guys suck, they do this. Like, nah, it works where they are. And to be fair, it could be worse. Because I think of like Warface, where that... I can't remember what else does it, but I know I saw it last second. You know what? I'm just gonna go back and rest. You can't make me. But, like Warface, where they have you gamble on boxes to get a gun, and if you're unlucky, you get like, just like a 3-hour unlock. It's sad, because that game had so much potential, but they just never bothered to update anything about it. They just add maps and new weapons, and they're like, yeah, good enough. It's like, no. Actually update your systems. You have a solid game idea. You just need to expand attachments and how classes work. And just basic mechanics like your grenades. But instead, they just relied on loot boxes till it killed them. And then they tried to do the stupid... What was it? Warface Clutch, which was just SND. But they were like, oh, it's different. No, it was... So initially the game was made by Crytek. but then they sold it ages ago, back when they went under, or were, I think, declared bankruptcy. Because then they finally came back with Hunt Showdown, and it was run by My Dot Games, which is a Russian company. And My Dot Games just did nothing with it. They just sat on it and went until the game couldn't turn a profit anymore. It's kind of like the current company in charge of... It's actually a holding company who runs Piranha and Daybreak Games. Yeah, that looks like a boss fight. Yeah, Pieta, come on, let's go. Yep, Crytek, the same ones who made Crysis way back in the day.
May we prove worthy of Aureus' grace.
Oh, okay, you have an interesting set of combos here. I don't know, this guy kind of reminds me of, I think, King Vendrick from Dark Souls 1? Or no, no, I think that's who it was. Where you find him at the end and he's just a, like, withered husk of a man. Rude. That's it, I'm pulling your soul out. Oh, I can't pull his soul out. Good to know. Oh no, Pieta died. That is really inconvenient. Okay, I thought I could, like, just hide behind the head. Okay, yeah, you got a bit of a combo on you. I think I just can't spam everything at once. Oh, it was Gwen. Yep. Vendrick was 2. Yeah, but I think Vendrick was also kind of the... Yeah, because Gwen, you could parry him to death. Gwen was the husk, yep. Or no, Vendrick, husk, Gwen, parryable, yeah. Everybody starts to blur together. Because Gwen had the iconic boss music. And I say that unironically because his boss music was awesome. Leave me alone. Go back to where you're standing. Alright, we already saw this.
Radiant light. Oh,
Dude's just over here vibing. White boy gets a big head and becomes a monster. Let's get a heal going. At least try to fight in the heal. God, Beata's just getting flattened. I guess I should try the other spell then. Go, Lightning, finish him off. Wasn't the other way, instead of getting giant souls, wasn't it also, I want to say, yeah, DS2, where you could get the soul level or soul memory or something? It was like the only game where that meant something. I'm actually gonna come back to this because I need to actually check how to finish this whole story. Oh, actually, we do have to use the seed pad. That is apparently Melchior. Poor dude, he got put into whatever the hell this is.
I'm sorry. This was all my fault. I just wanted things to be better for us. Forgive me. No, get that away from...
I look upon you with pity, my lost child. Led astray as you have been by a vile creature, who sees you as no more than a puppet to be manipulated, then consumed. A creature whose flimsy veil of divinity is as false as it is abhorrent. But now, you stand before your true God, with an opportunity not only for redemption, but reward. Only you walk an illusory path towards no reward, but oblivion. Only those of the greatest strength are fit to stand at my side. And I see such strength in you. Why be a slave to that which will destroy you, when you know you could be so much more? Cast aside the foul influence which has clouded your judgment. Place your faith in me, and you will obtain everything you deserve, and more. No, wretched parasite! I will not be denied!
That is that is such a funny just ending. Be like, oh, join me and we'll become great. No, Seed Pod. It's just like, no. I actually do like that though. I like villain endings where it is just abrupt. Like in John Wick, where the guy's like, it was just a dog, he just walks up and pops him in the head. There's no standing around monologuing or anything like that. It's just like, no, I'm here. I'm doing what I came here to do. Evil dead, moving on. I always hate when villains monologue. And then it's like some drawn out fight when you know the hero can just be like, nah, we're just ending this here and now. Okay, so now we get to go, I think, back here to hand in our next seed pod. Then we have to go with the Thief of the Chill Curse again to find Iron Wanderer. And I think we just yoink his soul. The way this is written, it just sounds like we just talk to him and just like, yeah, reach in, take that, and leave. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Aldia from DS2. DS2 was such a strange game when you think about just how some of the structure was, boss design. I do like it though. I feel like stuff like the Royal Rat Authority was cool. Yep, and then we just need Iron Wayfarer and we are done, I think. Straight up a yoinking it. Who up a yoinking they soul? Will this kill me? No. Good to know. I do like that when you fall, you actually fall. It's not the Soul style or Elden Ring style where you just land hard and your shins explode. Alright, let's see, is our man around here? No, of course not. Alright, I'm gonna see where I have to find him because I don't want to run around. Okay, the vestige of... I'm looking for Svornil. I think we might be at it. Yep. That indubitably be the guy. Can you not? God, the instructions for this are long. And I'm gonna have to just like run through a bunch of this and hope I find him. And I'm bummed. I was reading about the prisoner character that I didn't do anything with. Apparently, she can sell you a ring that gives you 2 mana regen per second. And I'm just like, no, I would have liked to have that. That would have been really convenient to have, but here we are. Hey, the guy. What up? Can I have your soul?
A man can try to deny what he is, but only for so long, even if he's immortal. Well, no more. I'm done.
Okay. Did I yoink his dark soul? I'm not in the business of asking people what color their soul is. People get really touchy about that one. Alright, now that we have 1 fresh soul, we get to go drop that off with Molu. Okay.
The chosen fall and rise until they rise no more. Bring a supreme end.
That's it? Okay. Thought there'd be a little more to that animation.
And so you must turn to the final progeny, that which I entwined with humble flesh to birth my sweet Eliane. Liberate her from her husk, and let her soar free, if only for one rapturous moment.
Do you have anything cool? I can't afford a ton of stuff at this point. I mean, that's a pretty sweet shield, but I don't use shields. I could get some of the armor. Yeah, we'll just pick up some armor. That's maxed out. Since we're going into the last fight, let's just go full bore here. Actually, are any of these good for a primary? No, okay.
Our holy word continues, Lamp.
Fellow sanctified vessel, may Aureus' divine radiance flow through me and into you.
Our holy word continues.
Oh wow, you
Lamp.
can get even more charges. That's cool.
Let Aureus' will be done.
Let's set up our armor here. Our spells are going to be kind of hit and miss. We'll do lacerating. Yeah, that's about all we can do here. I want to get Holy and Wither Resist. I think we're about as good as we're going to get for a balanced resist setup. Yeah. I will swap that out for something.
bearer.
Not gonna lie, it's not nearly as intimidating when the animation doesn't play right. Lady, can you not turn this into a bullet hell for 2 minutes, please? Oh, so you're just gonna keep summoning. Okay. Nope. Oh my god, can you please just leave? Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting fight.
I help you. Just be sure to make good on.
No, I'm not going the right way. I don't have other weapon options. What I would need is like Wither. And I don't have that because that's not my build. Nothing. Okay, I don't... It said you can summon a dog, and I guess I don't get the dog. And hey, look, Gerlinda's alive again. Actually, with that in mind, let's not ask how this works. None of these are good.
Ah, you again. Ah, you again.
Yeah, I don't think any of these are gonna work. The only other option would be to somehow very quickly farm up a bunch of stuff and level up another weapon. Go for like the staff here. That's gonna take a long time. Oh well, we'll just thug it out. Yeah, none of those are an option. Yeah. We'll do that. That's all. Hey, we do get help. Hallowed Sentinel Dog. Probably gonna die real fast, but I'll take it. It's something to draw aggro. Hello, can I please target the right person? Yep, dog's down. Not gonna lie, immediately doing a grab is kinda scummy right after a dodge. I also don't like that, just free attack. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of some of these combos, because it's like, you don't really get a response window. Yeah, sure, dog. Just keep hitting me. Finally. Now let's see, is there any remembrances? Yes.
Ages of disappointment and shame, but finally now, in you, my efforts rewarded and her will achieved. Oh, precious Elian.
Ah, I shouldn't have bought that armor then. If there's more remembrances. Alright. So we don't go back there yet, because now we have to talk to Molu again. Oh, looking away from the screen for a second. You know what, dude? Hit me, I don't care. I'm on my way out of here anyways. $51,000. Wow. Sure, give me more levels then. Alright, what do we have? Another sword that does Holy and Wither. Interesting. Definitely don't have enough scouring for that. Can get her ugly head. Interesting. I wonder if these carry over if I end the game. Because they are quest items, and it'd be cool to be able to farm these up in a second run. Yeah, she looks like a moth. I think that's kind of the whole design focus is like lanterns, moths. We'll buy the head. Oh, it only covers part of your face? That sucks. In the picture, it covers the whole face. I'm going back to my miter then. Let's enter the lull.
You have proven yourself, child. Now, ferry them home and act our mother's will. So long have I awaited your embrace.
Actually, before we end it, I want to check something. Because we have the seed pods. Oh, I have to boost my Inferno. I was going to say, I want to see the lore for why we picked Damaros, Gerlinda, and Melchior. Because these people seem like just randoms. Be like, yeah, we need their souls for the Umbral ending. Is like, why though? Molu makes sense. Okay. Oh, that's cool. So I think the ending, it changes this appearance. Because obviously it's the giant eye and the hand is skeletal instead of probably a normal stone hand. That's neat. I assume there isn't some at the end of the credits deal. That'd be kind of goofy. Yeah, new class, the Putrid Child. And we'll just continue this current journey for the moment. Yeah, that's... Yeah, like Pieta makes sense, but yeah, Gerlinda, but she wasn't really. She knew how to smith runes, but that was because she captured the other guy, and yeah, she knew how to capture him, and he's was the smith from the first game, and lived through multiple realities, so he's practically a god. But yeah, in terms of endings, I always hate this in games where you'll have an ending where like that, where it's like, oh, everything is consumed. I want to play that. I want to play the end of the world instead of being told, yeah, stuff happens and everybody gets wiped out. Like, what am I supposed to do with this information? Can I even buy stuff anymore? No. That's, I mean, it makes sense. Oh, 10 more and then we get the torso. Makes sense, it just kind of sucks. Because then it's like, oh, well, you more or less are told to continue the story in New Game Plus. And Dunmire's just been hanging out over here the whole time, blissfully unaware that the end of the world has happened. But yeah, the ending is kind of meh. In general, for this game, I'm not a fan of how these endings go, because it's less of like, oh, you have a general goal, you know, Elden Ring style, hey, go be the Elden Lord, except you can tweak it by siding with someone. In this, it's just like, yeah, you pick an ending. You may not fully understand that ending when you start, but you're picking one. And it's so easy to get locked out. You know, one wrong move and suddenly 3 endings are no longer available. Not literally 3 because there's only 3, but it's a little too difficult in my eyes to avoid them without having a guide. And some of these steps, like, why would I go back to the Fief of Chill Curse or whatever? Like, that's such a random place for me to return to, that having that be part of the story just feels goofy. Oh yeah, Andreas of Ebb. I'm actually gonna look up his fate, because yeah, we just had the letter where he's just like, hey, come to the castle, and then he never showed up again. What? I think we screwed up on his, because okay, so he has us go to the Fief of Chill Curse. Yeah, he's supposed to be a boss at some point in the Chill Curse area. I just missed a thing, I guess. yeah, like, on one hand, I get it. It is an interesting system to be like, oh, there's a lot of characters and you might not even get their story first run through. And that's kind of the incentive of giving you the extra starting classes to have you go through in a different way, at least at the start, even though starting classes are kind of pointless because they're just starting stats. And if you know what you're building for, you're going to build a certain way anyways, regardless. Yeah, so we missed his fight entirely. Alright. That's really dumb. I mean, it's like I said with the prisoner. Completely missed their storyline. They become a merchant and then become hostile. I was looking up that earlier before stream because I was like, what do I do with this character? Because I kind of forgot about him. And I was wondering, is it just something I can afford to miss? Little did I know, I kind of don't want to miss it. Yeah. Just like, I think... So, Bucket Lord's quest is more or less like a side mission. Gukujin, we screwed up, that's fine. Stomand, we left him back at the Abbey. Oh, I know why for him. Because you have to... Yeah, figure out what fills Friday slot. I think for the next couple of weeks there's a No Man's Sky event going on, another expedition, so I might do next week is at least No Man's Sky for one. After that, I have no clue. I'll have to figure something out. I might get bored and just be like, I'm playing Warframe. Farm out some stuff that I've been missing. Yeah, it's such a bummer. There's so many NPCs that you miss part of the quest. And yeah, like Stomand, you go to the Empyrean, which is if you... That only unlocks if you're not doing the Umbral ending. Because the Umbral ending, we skip over that area. Weird. Very weird. Yeah. I do like the idea of having too many threads to follow. But at the same time, if they're gonna do that, I'd like them to be more bound to certain storylines or to certain endings. So it's like, okay, if you're doing the Radiant ending, you're going to finish these character storylines. You can do it otherwise, but you have to really go out of your way. As opposed to this, where it feels like no matter how you do it, you're having to go out of your way to find these guys and do their story. Yeah, I'm always up for suggestions as well. See what I can do. My options are limited, but I can always see what I can attempt. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna find a rest point and head back at this point, because nothing else for me to do here. I mean, I just have the basic version for PlayStation. I don't have extra or any of that. Mostly because a lot of the games on there didn't appeal to me. I could play Days Gone. I've been meaning to play that. I downloaded it, started it, needed space on my hard drive, so I deleted it. Huh. Oh, I could have had a bell head this whole time? Anything to make cutscenes even more nonsensical. Yeah, I might do Days Gone. That's a pretty neat game. And I've been in the mood for a zombie game for a while. So I think I'll do that. That'll be a good Friday filler. Yeah, what I did play a Deacon, I really did like. It's a shame they never got to have a sequel. Sony instead is just like, nah, dog, we gotta throw money at fair games. It's totally gonna make our money back, I swear. Ah, God, that just makes me sad when games that deserve sequels don't get them. Meanwhile, Naughty Dog is getting how many hundreds of millions for Intergalactic? I actually saw that Sony's not happy about that. Which I was like, yeah, you've taken 5 years and you haven't released a game, and all you did before that was The Last of Us Part 2, which I think got remastered, and then The Last of Us 1 remaster. It's been a 2-game studio for like 10 years. Yeah, just like good anime not getting a second season. But I'm gonna call it here then. This was nice getting this game done. I feel like it lasted as long as it needed to. If it was going to go any longer, I think they should have had more like magic options and whatnot. 'Cause otherwise, casting the same few spells, even though I do like having my crazy lightning storm, that was only the end. I didn't really get to use a lot of variety because there wasn't a lot. But yeah, tomorrow's more Jurassic World Evolution. Then cycle begins anew next Thursday. And yeah, I will see you then.